Tonight we're going to do a nice hips and leg flexibility. So if you've got hip niggles, make sure you please have the support like cushions, bolsters and stuff, because we are going to do pigeon. So Jackie, you know what to do when you want to do a different pigeon. And grab yourself books as well if you don't have blocks, because we're going to use those 100% anyway. But if not, just imagine you got them there, or just hold on to your shin or your thigh if it's too much fat going to get them now. All right, so I'm going to mute you guys and go ahead and put any music on that you want. You don't have to use music. In the right place. Yes. All right, let's start easy seated. So using support if you want it underneath the hips, or if you feel better laying on your backs, then by all means come onto your backs. But main thing is that you feel nice and comfortable. So just relax the shoulders, maybe give them a roll, and just close the eyes and start coming into your breath. Allow the jaw to be relaxed. If you are easy seated, maybe just have a gentle lean backwards so we don't find ourselves tipping forward, especially if you are using the support underneath your hips. So with working through leg flexibility and hips, I'd like us to consider just taking tonight's practice as a time for healing and a time to maybe just connect deeper with yourself and maybe what needs to be healed right now. Now, many of you may have been through this meditation before. So if you do recognize it, try and create a new perspective with this. A new day, a new practice. Becoming aware of one's emotions can often be daunting. The better we understand our emotions and familiarize ourselves with them, and also the sensory experience of them, we become able to recognize exactly what it is that we feel in a given moment. So still relaxing your body and acknowledging your breath. Create a picture in your mind of a safe place. Maybe a place where you felt safe as a child, or a place right now in your life, or it can be imaginary. Where would you go right now if you just needed to get away, if you needed a break, you just wanted to feel safe, stable? And now think of a place where you have felt safe before. Picture the details of this safe place. The colours, any life around you, plants, nature, any sounds, any aromas. And now that you have this safe place fixed in your mind, just hold on to it. And notice how you feel right now. How does it feel in your shoulders? How does it feel in your arms, your face, the stomach, maybe even the legs? And take a moment to breathe. At any point, if you need to come back to your safe place, please do. So start imagining the feeling of happiness, a time where you felt enormously happy. Allow yourself to experience just some of this feeling right now and acknowledge any physical sensations with happiness. Remember to breathe. And now imagine the feeling of anger. A time when you were angry. Allow yourself just to experience some of this feeling right now. It's important to acknowledge all feelings and sensations. And go ahead and do the same with pride. A moment in your life where you were really proud of something, maybe proud of someone, proud of your country. Proud to be part of a team. Feeling this sense of pride in the shoulders, the arms, the face, stomach and the legs. And just feel the same with sadness. Don't worry about what made you sad, just feel that emotion, welcome it and acknowledge it because it's real. Remember, you can come back to that safe space at any point. And finally, let's take ourselves to a place where we felt really joyous, really elated and excited. How does this feel in your shoulders, your arms, your face, stomach and the legs? Remember to breathe. So you've imagined several feelings right now. So just allow yourself to relax, acknowledge any feelings that arise for you. Be present for this moment. And notice how you feel right now without trying to encourage or discourage any particular emotions or feelings. Just let yourself be in your authentic state. Because through life we experience both positive and negative emotions. Both of these serve their purpose. Remind yourself that it's okay to feel, it's normal, it's natural, and it's good to have emotions. When one is in tune with their body, they can allow their body to speak to them. So using an intention this evening, anything that you think of, or maybe something as simple as, I am here, I am listening. I am here, I am listening. I am here, I am listening. When you're ready, just start taking some movement into the hands and the wrists. These are really, really delicate joints in the wrists. So just free up some space. And then take a deep breath in, reach the arms all the way up, keep the shoulders soft. Breathe out and guide your prayer down to your heart space. So sliding shoulder blades down the back. I should have mentioned if you are laying down, come to a seated position. And then we're just going to take the feet out in front of us and give the ankles a roll. So the ankles also, when we're kind of just getting rid of any clicks and stuff through the ankles, that can relate to the nervous system. So we can start to balance out the nervous system just by rolling the ankles, or maybe even giving the ankles a gentle massage. So we're going to bring the soles of the feet together, and the space between the ankle bone and the heel, there's like a nice squishy bit, and we're just going to gently give a little massage into this area, so around the Achilles, and maybe go up the legs a little bit. And this can help to release tension through the pelvis as well, because we hold so much stress there when we go through stressful times. And then just give the sides and the soles of the feet a little massage as well. And maybe just go up the shins, give the legs a nice squeeze. And up the legs. And then we're going to take the right hand onto the left shoulder and just give the arm a little massage. All the way down to the wrist. And then swap. And then take another breath in as you reach the arms up. And bring the hands down to prayer into our heart space. Lovely. All right, just bring the knees together. We're gonna just slip off our support, pop that behind, and just take some knee folds here. Start warming up into the hips. Keeping the chest lifted. All right, and from here, just come on to hands and knees, tabletop position. And take a rock from side to side, drawing tummy button into spine, shoulders stacked above wrists. And take some rolls through the wrists and the hips. Keep drawing the tummy back towards the spine without squeezing, but just having that little lift. And let's go the other way. And I'm going to sink back into a child's pose. So knees out nice and wide, toes come together, and rest down. So you can bring your forehead onto the mat. If you want to get a little bit more stretch through the shoulders, maybe grab a block or a bolster, and you can place your hands on top here, and just get a little bit more length through the back. Now what I'd like us to do is to breathe into the back of the rib cage. So we've got our lungs, obviously a lot of our breath goes into the front of the lungs, but a lot of the time we forget about the back of the lungs. So really utilize the space in the back of the rib cage. Really breathe in, fill it up. You can maybe imagine, I've said this before, but maybe imagine you've got wings on your back. And as you breathe in, you're just spreading those wings, just really opening them out wide. Take 3 more breaths. Here's 2. And 3. Lovely. Let's come up onto hands and knees. Check in with your intention and start taking some free movements. You may want to come straight into your cat-cow. You can maybe hold a cat stretch, so you take a couple of breaths, maybe hold the cow posture where I am at the moment, and take a few breaths. Really utilising the space that we have to breathe. Go ahead and take some barrel movements if you're not already. And then when you're ready, we're going to take ourselves back into a downward facing dog. So tuck the toes, lift the hips, take yourself all the way back. Finding length through the back, lifting the tail, keeping the neck nice and soft. Maybe give your head a little shake, yes or no. And we're going to slowly walk the feet to the top of the mat, or the hands back towards the feet, and take a forward fold. Rock from side to side, releasing the neck, the shoulders. If you're feeling like you may want to open the heart a little bit more, you can maybe just bring the hands behind the back, or humble it forward, so interlace the fingers and reach the arms overhead. Shoulder niggles, obviously, be very, very mindful. Maybe take that first option. And then release the hands back down to the floor. And we're going to roll up vertebra by vertebra and reach the arms up all the way to the top. Take a breath in and breathe out. Guide your hands into prayer, into your heart space. Coming to the top of your mat, just have the blocks close to you just so they're there to grab if you need to. We're going to start just by taking some hip rolls, so hands onto the hips and just roll here. Bend into the knees. Really listen to your body. Let's go the other way. Okay, one more breath. And then find ourselves coming into mountain pose. So we're going to bring the feet together. Heels maybe slightly apart. Tuck the tailbone in, or tuck the tailbone down and lift up through the tops of the kneecaps. Arms out to the sides of the palms facing forward. Take a deep breath in, just reach the arms up. Breathe out, release the arms back down. Again, breathe in, reach the arms up, find the length through the sides of the waist. Breathe out. And the next one, we're going to fold forward on the out breath. So breathe in, lift nice and high. Maybe take a mini back bend. And as we breathe out, tip from the hips, bend the knees. Coming into a forward fold. Blocks if you need them underneath the hands. Or hands down to the mat. Release the neck and the shoulders. Keep drawing tummy button to spine. And take a gentle rock forward and back. When you're ready, take a halfway lift on an inhale. So deep breath in. As you breathe out, take both feet back to a plank. Option leads down. Deep breath in, nice and high on the balls of the feet. Breathe out, Chaturanga Dandasana, nice and slow. Guide the heart forward. Either take a cobra, pushing the tops of the feet down, or lift up to up dog. See if you can float the knees. So you're really pushing into the tops of the feet. Breathing in. And as you breathe out, take yourself back to a downward facing dog. Relax the neck. All right, from here, we're going to inhale the right foot forward, in between the hands, and grabbing hold of our blocks, all being on the tips of the fingers. The main thing is we want that heart to be open here. So just going to rock forward and back. Just get some movement into that back and core without dumping the weight into these hands as well. So keep your core turned on. We want to be thinking about wrapping the right hip back and the left hip forward. Two more breaths. Lovely, and then we're going to step back to a plank, hands on the block still if you've got blocks. Deep breath in, and as you breathe out, left leg comes forward, we're going to rock forward and back here as well. So really feel the stretch into the back foot, into the toes. 3 more breaths. Here's 2. And 3. Take the left foot back to a plank, deep breath in. As you breathe out, right foot comes forward, and we're going to place the left knee onto the floor and untuck the back foot as well. Reaching the arms all the way up, deep breath in. Breathe out, sink down. Now we want to be active here, so imagine you're pulling right heel towards left knee. So you're pulling the 2 legs together, tucking the tail as much as you can. Two more breaths. Deep breath in and out. Keep the shoulders soft, the jaw unclenched. And out. Hands come down onto blocks or onto the floor. Tuck the back toe, hover the back knee, breathe in as you take the right foot back to the plank. Breathe out, left foot comes forward, pop the right knee down, untuck the back toe. And then reach the arms up. Drop the shoulders. 5 breaths. Squeezing heel to knee. Push into the top of the back foot. One more breath here. Hands come down. Inhale the left foot back. We're going to come into a plank with or without blocks. Option knees down. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, heart comes forward. Really reach the heart forward and upwards. Push into the tops of the feet. Maybe float the knees. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, take yourself back to downward facing dog. Relax the neck. Take any movement that feels good here. One more breath. And then we're going to bring the right foot in between the hands. Coming into a nice runner's lunge. So just reach the heart forward. Keep wrapping the right hip back, left hip forward. And we're going to flatten the back foot down onto the floor, windmill up all the way into a warrior 2. So sinking hips down. See if you can push your right knee back towards your baby toe of the right foot. And try and reach the arms out as evenly as possible. Feeling the strength of the legs. And keep lifting up from the left kneecap as well. So you're feeling this pull all the way up through the legs, whilst feeling the energy of the back of the left foot as well. One more breath. We're going to take a Skandasana to the left, so our side lunge. So we're going to straighten the front leg, hands come into prayer, turn the front foot in, and we're going to bend down into this left leg. Now you can stay here, or you can take it a little bit further, turning that left foot out and guiding the hips downwards, bringing the top or the toes of the right foot down. So you can stay upright, or you can come down here. Keep breathing, keep the chest proud. One more breath. Now push through the legs, deep breath in, and as you breathe out, come back into that warrior two. So turn the toes, front toes towards the top of your mat. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, windmill hands coming down to a runner's lunge. And then inhale to a plank. Option knees down. Exhale, Chaturanga Dandasana, heart comes forward and up, deep breath in. And as you breathe out, take yourself back to downward facing dog. We're going to stay working on that right leg for a moment. So bringing the right foot in between the hands and popping the left knee down onto the floor. Untuck the back toes again. Now if you've got any knee niggles, do make sure that you're using the support underneath your left knee and keep pushing through the top of that back foot. You're going to reach the arms up just to find some length. And as we breathe out, keep the body long, but do bring the hands onto the hips. As we sink down, keep ascending the heart but descending the hips. And we're going to see if we can float the back knee. So push into the top of that back foot. See if you can float the knee and lift up. Just one breath here. As you breathe out, come back down. Inhale, push through the back foot, lift the knee. Breathe out, come back down. We've got one more, breathe in. And breathe out. Hands come down to the mat, the back toe tucks in, come into runner's lunge, breathing in. Breathe out, right foot goes back to plank. Drop the knees if you need to. Chaturanga Dandasana. Take a cobra or an up dog, breathing in. Breathe out, down dog or child's pose. 5 breaths. I am here. I am listening. Okay, let's come back up onto hands and knees, or stay in down dog. We're going to meet you there anyway. We're going to now bring the right leg forward, and we're going to turn over to face the back of the mat, or just bring your left foot forward. I'm just turning this way just so I can still see you guys. So you can bring your left foot forward if you still need to look at the screen. So coming into that runner's lunge, lifting the heart up. Flatten the back foot down as we windmill the hands, coming into a nice, strong warrior two, Virabhadrasana B. So tuck the tail. Again, lifting up through the front, that right kneecap, really lifting. Trying to square those hips as well. So the hips are square towards each other. So they're not kind of on a skew-if level. And front knee is pushing over towards the baby toe of the front foot. Drop the shoulders if they've lifted. Slide the shoulder blades down the back. See if you can tuck those ribs a tiny bit more. Okay, let's come into our Skandasana on the other side. So straighten up the legs, bring the hands together. Front foot turns in, back foot turns out a little bit. Bend into the back knee, so we can stay here if you want to, or take it deeper, lifting the toes of the front foot or the left foot, sinking down. Keep the heart lifted. So we want to avoid rounding through the top of the back. If you need to use a block, come up onto a block. You can keep the back, this heel off the floor. One more breath, relax the bottom. As we push into both of the legs, lift all the way up, coming back into a warrior two. Sink into the left knee, reach the arms all the way up, deep breath in. As you breathe out, windmill the hands down. Sink the back knee down into the earth. Let's inhale to a plank. Option knees come down onto the floor. Breathe out, lower the body. Untuck the toes, take a cobra or an up dog, breathing in. And breathe out, back to down dog or child's pose. Take 5 breaths. Okay, meeting in downward facing dog. Let's bring our left foot forward again. Pop the right knee down. Untuck the back toe. Reach the arms up. Deep breath in. As we breathe out, sink the hips. Keep the heart lifting upwards. Bring the hands onto the hips. Draw those hips downwards. Keep lifting through the heart. And we've got those 3 hovers of the back knee. So you can stay here and just breathe, or take a breath in, push into the top of the back foot, lift the knee, breathe out. Relax the shoulders, relax the face. Breathe in and out. Last one, breathe in and out. Hands come down to the mat. Take a breath into a plank. Option knees down, breathe out, Chaturanga Dandasana, heart comes forward, up dog or cobra, really pull the heart forward here, down dog or child's pose. 5 breaths. Let's meet in a downward facing dog again. Take any movement that feels good. And we're going to turn to face the long side of our mat. So whatever way is best for you, just turn to face the long side. Make sure you've got your blocks near you as well. Just so we can have a nice upright, a nice 90-degree angle of the body. And just take some rocks from side to side through the hips here. Staying soft on those hands, we're not putting loads of weight into them. Following the line of the spine to the crown of the head, so keeping the neck nice and long. So we've got the option to take those Skandasanas, so those side lunges, from here, keeping the hands on the blocks. So our first option is just to turn the feet out ever so slightly, maybe make them a little bit wider. And we're going to bend into the right knee first, and then lift up on an inhale. As you exhale, bend into the left knee. So here's our first option. You can keep it here. Be mindful when you do come up not to place all of your weight into the heels. Maybe give yourself a little bit more of a challenge by bringing the hands off the blocks, bring the hands into prayer, but keeping the body in a kind of a tabletop position, more or less. Strengthen the legs. Nice flowing breath. Very important. Maybe you want to take it a little bit further again. So take a breath in if you want to come with me. Take a breath in, reach all the way up. Breathe out, come down. Lifting the toes of that straight leg. Breathe and lift up. Breathe out, come down. Breathe and come up. Really push through the legs. Breathe out, come down. We've got one more round. Really push. Deep breath in. And breathe out. Come back to center. And release the hands down. Okay. So turning, so just toe heel the feet to nice and wide, so wider than hips width. Maybe if the toes were out, the toes would be in line with our wrists. That makes sense. So we're going to turn towards our right leg. So have our blocks either side of the mat or books. Back foot's going to turn in. Front toes are going to face towards the short edge of the mat. So kind of like we're coming into a warrior one position. So if you need to widen your stance a little bit to get those hips square so that the hips aren't open, please do. So bringing the hands onto blocks. Blocks want to be underneath shoulders, and we're going to keep the body at a tabletop position. So just going to take a breath halfway first, so deep breath in. As you breathe out, find a little bit more length. Again, breathe in, tummy button to spine. And keep this breath working here. Now you may want to bring the blocks or books onto a lower angle. But for the time being, we don't want to be coming down too far. We're not there yet. So both legs are straight here. Let's add on from here. So ensuring that your right hip is wrapping back and the left hip is wrapping forward. We're going to breathe in, bend into the front knee, reach the heart forward. Now as you breathe out, straighten both legs and fold forward, drawing your chin towards your shin, not your head to your knee. Breathe in, bend the knee, reach the heart forward. Breathe out, fold, and straighten the legs. We've got 3 more. Breathe in, reach the heart forward. Breathe out, straighten and fold. Last 2, breathe in. Keep wrapping that right hip back and out. Last 1, breathe in. And breathe out. And then bend into that front knee. We're going to take the left leg all the way back and drop the left knee onto the floor. Untap the back toe and bring the hands onto the inside of that right foot, coming into lizard lunge. So still using the blocks to keep us upright, so the heart is lifted. We're going to tuck the toe behind again and lift up from here and just take those rocks forward and back. So remember, the right hand is on the inside of that right leg, so the knee isn't between the arms. Keep drawing tummy button towards spine, lifting away from the shoulders with the ears. So what we want to avoid is bringing the shoulders up. So really push out of here. We've got 1 more breath. And we're going to sink the left knee onto the floor, straightening up the front leg. Again, bring those blocks along the outside and using the blocks underneath our shoulders. Just get nice and comfortable. Everyone's a little bit different. I know for me, I need to have a nice wiggle around here because I can never feel stable. So tabletopping the body again or higher. We're going to do exactly the same as what we just did in our pyramid pose. So just taking your breath in. As you breathe out, lengthen. Breathe in. Try and really pull that right heel back and the left knee forward. Nice stable pelvis. 1 more breath. And for the next 3 breaths, we're going to see if we can fold a little bit deeper on the exhale. So deep breath in, breathe out, fold. Breathe in, come up halfway. Breathe out, fold. One more, breathe in, lift halfway. Breathe out and fold. Coming forward, hands onto the inside of that foot, don't worry about the blocks. Tuck the back toe, lift the back knee, and take yourself back to a downward facing dog. Pedal the feet. We've got 3 more breaths. There's 2. And 3. When you're ready, bring that left foot in between the hands. Flatten the foot behind. Bring the hands onto the hips and just bring yourself up. Make sure you're comfortable with the legs. So the feet might be about hip width apart, but not lining up, so the heels aren't lining up with each other. Having our blocks or books underneath the shoulders. Both legs straight. This time your left hip is wrapping back and your right hip is wrapping forward. We're just going to take a few deep breaths here to find as much length as we can, find that stability through the legs. So we're not dumping the weight into our blocks. Two more breaths like this. And then bend into the front knee, take a deep breath in, breathe out, straighten up and fold. Breathe in, bend the front knee, reach the heart forward. Breathe out and fold. 2 more like that. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. Last one, inhale and reach. Exhale and fold. And then coming up a little bit, we're going to step the right foot back. Nice long runner's lunge. Pop the knee onto the floor. And bring the hands onto the inside of that left foot. So still using blocks. Or if you feel good to come onto the floor, that's fine. But as long as you can keep the heart reaching forward so we don't round through the top of the back. So just breathe here. And when you're ready, just lift that back knee off the floor by tucking the toes and take some rocks forward and back. Three more breaths. So you place the back knee onto the floor and tuck the back toes. Start straighten up the left leg, coming into that half split or runner's stretch. Get yourself comfy so you feel stable. So you don't feel that you're leaning on one arm more than the other. Actively pulling the left heel back, pulling the the left hip back as well as the right, so we're not kind of lifting. All right, so tabletopping the spine, or having it a little bit higher. Deep breath in. Find length, breathe out. Try and draw those toes back towards you a bit more. 2 more breaths like this. Next one, we're going to fold on the exhale. So take a breath in, little lift. Breathe out, fold. Keep the spine long so we're not rounding through the back. Inhale, halfway, all the way up, halfway. Breathe out, fold forward. One more, inhale. Exhale. Start traveling forward. Bring the hands onto the inside of the leg. Tuck the back toe of the back knee. See if you can pick the left foot up, take it back to a plank without scraping it. So pick it up and take it back. Take a breath in. Option knees down. Breathe out. Chaturanga Dandasana, lower the body. Take an up dog or a cobra. Deep breath in. And as you breathe out, let's come back into a nice, juicy child's pose. Rock from side to side. So anyone who takes pigeon pose on their backs, you know what to do. You're going to come onto your back and do that there. Everyone else, we're going to come up onto hands and knees. We're going to start with the, let's start with the right leg. So bring the right knee up behind the right wrist. Start, and this is the word that all of you know that I never know what to start. Shifting the left knee back. Use support if you need to underneath that right hip. You can also use support underneath the hands here. So for today, if we are in pigeon pose where I am at the moment, I want us to avoid sinking down just for the first few breaths. So maybe give yourself the opportunity not to use a block so you don't feel the tendency to kind of sit onto it. We're going to have the fingers, so the palms lifted, so we're pushing into the tips of the fingers. We're going to see if we can pull the legs together and make this really, really, really active. 2 breaths. Deep breath in and out. And in, squeezing those legs together and out. One more breath in here. And as you breathe out, sink down and come onto the forearms using a block if you need to. And take a rock from side to side. Keep reaching the heart forward. One more breath here. Coming up onto the hands. If you're on your back, just swap the legs over. So come back to a plank. And let's bring the left knee up behind the left wrist. Start shimmying the right knee back. Coming up onto the fingertips. Squeeze the legs together for 2 deep breaths. Deep breath in and out. And in, really, really pull those hips forward so you're tucking the bottom as much as possible, and out. One more in. And as you breathe out, sink down, use support underneath that left hip if you need to. Coming onto the forearms. One more breath here. You've got the option to take yourself back into plank, do a little vinyasa, or roll yourself onto the left hip. Swing the legs around and guide yourself back onto your backs. Drawing the knees in and just take a rock from side to side. So you're going to take half happy baby, just so we can experience the length down the front of the straight leg. So we're going to start with holding the inside or the outside of the right foot. Trying to bring this right knee up towards your armpit. So the thigh is running along the outside of the body as opposed to holding the knee onto the tummy. If you've got a strap or a belt, you can use that here instead, or just hold behind the right thigh. That feels quite nice as well. And just flex the foot. We're then going to straighten out the left leg, flexing the left foot. So trying to keep the tummy drawing back towards the earth and tucking the bottom, just so we don't find ourselves arching through the back. If it's available, you maybe want to see if you can straighten that right leg. Shoulders soft, back of the head heavy. And let's swap sides. So guide the left leg in, extend the right leg really, really, really slowly. And take a few breaths. Maybe straighten out that left leg if you want to. Two more breaths. And then gently guide that left leg onto the floor. And take a rock from side to side with the legs. Popping the arms out to the sides, opening through the heart. Maybe take it a bit deeper into the hips if you want to. Just by rocking the knees from side to side. If there's any other posture that you'd like to take, go ahead and take those. But for now, just come into a comfortable position so that you can rest. Maybe even lay on one side if that feels nice. And check back in with your intention. Check back in with that safe place that we held for ourselves right at the beginning of our practice, for us to return to at any time. And just notice your breath here. Notice the points between inhalation and exhalation. Notice your body as on each exhale, it starts to release more and more. Starting from the crown of the head, the forehead, the eyebrows, the cheeks, the mouth, sides of the face, sides of the neck, back of the head, the scalp, back of the neck, the shoulders, the chest, top of the back, both armpits, the arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, sides of the waist, mid-back, lower back, mid-torso, the lower abdomen, the pelvis, the buttocks, thighs, knees, calves, ankles and heels. Start bringing your awareness back into the space where you rest upon right now. Notice the sounds that are closest to you, the sound of your own breath, and expand your senses far beyond the space where you are now, and acknowledge the sounds as far away as possible. Guiding your attention back to your breath and into your physical body, taking a little bit of movement through the ankles and the wrists. Keeping the eyes closed. If you're laying on your back, just roll onto your left-hand side. And keep the eyes closed as you bring yourself up to a seated position. Relaxing the eyes. Take a breath in as you reach the arms up, kiss the hands into prayer. Breathe out, guide your prayer into your heart space. Taking this moment of gratitude, thanking yourself for the time that you've dedicated to your practice on your mat this evening. Honoring your emotions, respecting yourself and respecting those emotions, and giving yourself the time to listen to your body as it speaks to you. From my heart to your heart, may you be safe, may you be happy, healthy, and peaceful. Namaste.